This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. You're going to get tired of hearing me say it. I know it. But if you have not subscribed, if you're a watcher of my videos with any regularity and you enjoy what I do, if you think I provide some value, please subscribe if you haven't. I'm trying to get to 500,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and it's only with your help that I'm going to be able to do that. So let's talk about Bill Barr just a little bit. Refresh your memory if you are so lucky as to have forgotten about the epic error that was his term as Attorney General Part Deux. Not the first time with George H.W. Bush, but the second time with Donald Trump. Bill Barr, by any reasonable, charitable explanation or understanding, cannot be described as a never-Trumper. Bill Barr ran interference for Donald Trump's criminality and obstruction of justice the entire time that he was Attorney General. He is not, although he is friendly with Robert Mueller, he tried to get in front of and sabotage the work that Robert Mueller did with the release of the Mueller report, coming to conclusions that were not the conclusions of Robert Mueller. This is an epic that has been covered in the press ad nauseum, so I'm not going to go into it. I just want to establish, because I got 3 clips here, I want to establish that in no uncertain terms is Bill Barr an enemy of Donald Trump. He's just now stating facts related to that which is completely obvious, and that it's just unavoidable, the facts of this case. This indictment is damning. It contains evidence outlined in specific, clear, crystal clear order of the crimes of Donald Trump. That which is alleged in this 49-page document doesn't leave Donald Trump a lot of wiggle room relative to defense, and Bill Barr knows it. And luckily, Bill Barr is willing, really, we are lucky here, that Bill Barr is willing to go on Fox News in this case and lay out the facts with Shannon Bream to a Fox News audience who otherwise likely would not hear these details. Watch this first clip.
What about this chief argument that comes up for the president's allies and his legal team that this should have been handled under the Presidential Records Act, not this Espionage Act charge and other federal statutes that were used here?
Well, it started out under the Presidential Records Act and the archives trying to retrieve documents that Trump had no right to have. But it quickly became clear that what the government was really worried about were these classified and very sensitive documents. I was shocked by the degree of sensitivity of these documents and how many there were, frankly. And so the government's agenda was to get those, protect those documents and get them out. And I think it was perfectly appropriate to do that. It was the right thing to do. And I think the counts under the Espionage Act that he willfully retained those documents are solid counts. Now, I do think we have to wait and see what the defense says and what proves to be true. But I do think that even half what Andy McCarthy said, which is if even half of it is true, then he's toast. I mean, it's a very detailed indictment, and it's very, very damning. And this idea of presenting Trump as a victim here, a victim of a witch hunt, is ridiculous. Yes, he's been a victim in the past. Yes, his adversaries have obsessively pursued him with phony claims, and I've been at his side defending against them when he is a victim. But this is much different. He's not a victim here. He was totally wrong that he had the right to have those documents. Those documents are among the most sensitive secrets that the country has. They have to be in the custody of the archivist. He had no right to maintain them and retain them. And he kept them in a way at Mar-a-Lago that anyone who really cares about national security, their stomach would churn at it.
Now, look, I'm going to get to Donald Trump's response here after the next 2 clips. He went on Truth Social and freaked out. He lost his mind, calling him a gutless pig, calling Bill Barr a poor man's John Goodman, calling him a gutless pig on Truth Social. But I want to elucidate, if I can, the reason why I believe he's freaking out so much about this particular appearance, and it is because he knows that the reputation of Bill Barr precedes him, that he is held in relatively high esteem by much of MAGA world. Because when you enter into the presidency and you tell the American people, as Donald Trump did, that you're going to hire the best people, the brightest people, the smartest people, and then you make your hand-picked selections, it is and you convince MAGA world that these are the best people. That, look, Bill Barr's my guy. I picked him. He's awesome. And it's hard to convince MAGA world that then he's a gutless pig when he was your choice. So either your picker is wrong, Donald Trump, or you're a liar. I mean, you don't get to have it both ways. I mean, for many in MAGA world, you do, but not in all cases. Now, listen. Bill Barr says correctly here. Again, I want to drive home. This is a Fox News audience. He is explaining here just how reckless the behavior of Donald Trump was. And that is that reckless behavior, not an overzealous prosecutor, that has now rendered Donald Trump in the trouble that he finds himself.
So, and we can't forget here that this entire thing came about because of reckless conduct of the president. If he had just turned over the documents, which I think every other person in the country would have done, they're the government's documents. They're official records. They're not his personal records. Battle plans for an attack on another country or Defense Department documents about our capabilities are in no universe Donald J. Trump's personal documents. They are the government's documents.
Big news for a Fox News audience, I think, who up to this point have only heard the lies and distractions from Fox News anchors and Congress people who come on to spin in favor of Donald Trump. Now, this third clip, he's going to lay out two big lies, and he's going to go through and really, and this is what is just chef's kiss about this series of clips, is the Fox News audiences, maybe for the first time again, hearing that there are vast differences, oceans of difference between the cases of Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, Mike Pence, and what Donald Trump did.
The sock drawer case with President Clinton,
yes.
They'll point to these and say, listen,
so
there were
are
other
two big
documents.
lies, I think, that are out there right now. One is, these other presidents took all these documents. Those were situations where they arranged with the archives to set up special space under the management, control, and security provided by the archivist to temporarily put documents until the libraries were ready. These were not people just putting them in their basement, okay? And the second thing that the president, this idea that the president has complete authority to declare any document personal is obvious. It's facially ridiculous. That opinion had to do with the distinction between official records, which are records prepared by government agencies for the purpose of government action, and personal documents as opposed to official documents, which are things prepared by the president, such as a diary or notes, which are not used in the government's deliberations. And yes, as to the second class, stuff that the president himself generates, the president has some discretion. But these are official documents. It's inarguable. The president's daily brief provided by the intelligence community is not Donald J. Trump's personal document, period.
And all of this sent Donald Trump over the edge, freaking out on Truth Social. He posted this. Virtually everyone, it wouldn't be a Donald Trump day without many people are saying everybody knows. Virtually everyone is saying that the indictment, at least he spelled it correctly, is about election interference and should not have been brought, except Bill Barr, a disgruntled former employee and lazy attorney general who was weak and totally ineffective. Strange that you picked a lazy and weak and ineffective person to be your attorney general, Donald Trump. It just boggles the mind, since you promised you were going to pick the best people, the brightest people. He doesn't mean what he's saying. It's just misinformation, Donald Trump prognosticates as he drills into the mind of Bill Barr. Barr's doing it because he hates Trump for firing him. Donald Trump did not fire Bill Barr. Bill Barr quit in the aftermath of the insurrection against the United States. He was deathly afraid of the radical left when he said they would impeach him. He knows the indictment is bull. Turn off Fox News when that gutless pig is on. Look, in many ways, Bill Barr is a gutless pig, without a doubt. He is a man who stood for the powerful and the connected and the wealthy over peaceful protesters who were gassed a block away from the White House in Lafayette Square. He made excuses for it. He called tear gas like a chemical irritant, or I don't remember the exact quote, but he covered for Donald Trump's fascism. He covered for abuses against American citizens because it was Donald Trump. He doesn't hate everything Trump by any stretch of the imagination. We're seeing not only how depraved many in Congress are to defend Donald Trump and put him ahead of national security, we're also seeing just how crazy it's making Donald Trump. He is turning on everyone who's even going to tell the truth in a modicum of a degree. There's more to come, certainly. This is good news that a Fox News audience actually had a moment to witness this, and they're going to see this from if they explore outside of the Fox News bubble, they're going to start seeing this more and more. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. As always, you can absolutely email me daily at dollemore.com. Again, please subscribe to the channel. Trying to get to 500,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It would be so great if you would help me in that endeavor. Follow me on social media. I'd love to see you there. And I appreciate you guys very much. Thanks for engaging with my content and being passionate about making the world, or even just the country, a better place. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.